Hey, what's up guys, Sonic Stilson here to bring you guys the next part of our playthrough of Sonic Colors for the Wii. So hold on.
Next stop, the Aquarium Park. This underwater attraction is the perfect place to commune with sea life and hopefully get chummy with a shark.
So, I'm coming to you post-game wise because freaking OBS once again refused to pick up my mic. So, yeah, I now have to come to you basically post-recording. So I'm doing this while basically watching the video again on mute to basically catch up. And we are on to the 5th stage of the game, which is Aquarium Park. And it's my favorite. I absolutely love Aquarium Park. I love the vibe. I love how it looks. I love the music. I love the stages. It's just a lot of fun. I've always been a fan of like the kind of more like the Japanese style, anything really. But I'm a big fan of when this style does appear in Sonic games. So obviously being here was a treat. I absolutely love it. Of course, like I said, talking about the music. I mean, for the most part, I feel like this was still in that phase of Sonic where people were still unanimously agree the music is really good. These days, you kind of have more of like the argument that Sonic music is kind of, took a step back a little bit. It's well, I hate to say it. I think you probably can say that. Doesn't mean that Sonic music is terrible now because it's still really good. But I would definitely agree that it's definitely not where it used to be. But that's not discussion here or there. So this is Act 1 of Aquarium Park. Yeah, I guess apparently the OBS didn't actually pick up the sound, which really fucking sucks. Which is now why that's the whole reason why this video was late. And it's just like at that time when I figured that out, I was like, I don't really feel like talking for 30 minutes right now. So I'm just gonna do this later, and I finally found some time to do it. So one of the cool things I do like about Aquarium Park is that it is it's not actually the only stage that has water, but it is obviously the main water stage of the game. Act 6 of Asteroid Coast actually has a water section. It's kind of weird, but it's the only other part in the game. There's no other point in the game where you're underwater besides that stage and then, Aquarium Park. You don't go underwater in every stage in Aquarium Park. But one of the cool things in this game, for some reason, Sega has not brought that back, or maybe they will one day, is that when Sonic is underwater, he can quote-unquote swim because you can infinitely jump while you're underwater. Now, yes, the Yellow Wisp is in a good handful of water stages, which is what it's used for. And it makes obviously traversing a lot easier, but yeah, we used it a couple of times. This first stage, we didn't even get any red rings. I do remember that. But usually being like super chill here and whatnot. So move out of the way of that. But yeah, I always like Aquarium Park. Like I said, love the stage. It's my favorite stage in the game. Without a doubt, getting close to the end of the stage here. See, there's one right there, and I think I decided, you know what, I'm going to go back for this one. And I did. Of course, surfacing will cause you to lose it, so I guess it was pretty cool using it for like the 5 seconds that we were able to. Definitely jump. Now, of course, obviously, Sonic can't breathe underwater. But there we go. That's it for Act 1 of Aquarium Park. So even with all of the rings, still couldn't get the S rank. Still got an A ring though. I feel like we probably could have got a little bit more of the red rings. Probably would have been better off. So then at that point, off to Act 2. Which this is a very simple stage, as long as you're comfortable with the platforming. If not, this one might be a bit of a challenge. The only Whisper is the Blue Wisp. Basically, the kind of like Act 6 of Tropical Resort brings back these types of platforms where you just have to stand on them and press the button and then move. The red rings are not super hard to get here. The last one, which spoiler alert, we don't actually get. That one actually, you got to be pretty quick for that one, or you will miss it. We were not quick enough. So bounce over here. I think it's kind of weird. What is it? Just the platforms that were there before, they're just gone now? And no, you can't do that, man. You can't do that. Like, it legitimately, like, okay, let me say this. So one of the things I also do like about Aquarium Park, and I really didn't even notice it until now that I played it, like all the times I played Sonic Colors, is that it legitimately looks like somebody lives here. Like, it does not look like an amusement park. It just legitimately looks like somebody actually lives here. Like, there's like a civilization. Even though it's not, it's just a part of Eggman's theme park, and there's no life here besides like the egg ponds and all the other badniks that patrol the area. So yeah, you gotta be like right there, not quite, but if you do miss anything, go for that. You can just slide back under the goal ring, and then you get that one. Yeah, the red rings are, so obviously since it's a shorter stage, all the red rings are, you know, pretty much looped together. So homing attack those guys, and there you go. That's Act 2 of Aquarium Park. So yeah, obviously the commentary sounds like it's just kind of put together because it is. It is just me having to react. Like I've already played through the video, you know. We did get another A rank there. And then having enough, that gets us to game win. So I think right now, I think I'm about a second behind when it comes to this. Okay, so yeah, about a second behind when it comes to the audio. But anyways, on to Act 3. Act 3 is very interesting. But you will see me have an absolute brain fart here in just a little bit. So, the big thing about Act 3 is, beginning part, you have to go in this underwater section with these fans that will push you down. You can't jump back up, even if you could, like it would take too long. But, so you're like, how do you get the service? There is an underwater section you can take, but alas, Orange Whisk comes into play here, and you use it and it completely shoots you back up. You hear it when it goes, when you resurface. It's always been a very satisfying sound to me. I've always liked it. It's been really cool. So a good handful of the red rings are actually up in the air. You just have to skydive and get past, you know, like spikes that are in the air. To collect them, some of the spots you just have to get creative and go into the water to find the Orange Whisk to be able to shoot up high enough to get there. Which that's no exception here. I don't think I could remember if there was anything there. I think that there was. But like I said, there is you know, you can take the longer path in the underwater section to get there. Up to you. Obviously, it's the longer way. You'll have to worry about managing, you know, air and getting air bubbles, which, you know, they do give you plenty. I can't remember if it's this one. I think it's another one. Yeah, it's not this one. It's the next one. So you can find that, and there you go. That's number 2. A lot of the red rings are like that in this stage. So you see that one. This is the one that randomly gave me trouble. And voice crack, I know. I clocked it. You don't have to worry about that. I absolutely clocked that. So, I took this, obviously, you know, just shoot up normally. Pop. Whoa, okay. We do not condone drug use here. And I blasted off. Let's go with that. And, you know, okay, so this other time, this is fine. So, I don't know why I randomly decided, hey, let's speed this up. For whatever reason, missed it there. So, here comes the second try. Okay, we shoot back up again with the orange rocket. Begin to skydive again. It's really not that hard. Like, I'm being so honest with you. It's not hard at all, as long as you can balance. And I did the same thing again. Like, what are you doing, dude? Like, it's just like, I don't even know what I'm doing. It's like a brain fart, like you've already done it. So, hey, third time's the charm, maybe. So here we go. Blast off again. Go back through the rocket. All right, well, okay, so we're going through it again. Skydive a little bit easier. And then, there we go. Third time was the charm. So, yeah, it's another prime example of me literally not learning a damn thing from my mistakes and trying to do the same thing over and over again. The literal definition of insanity. So, welcome to my world. If this is the first time you're seeing one of these videos, that's very common here. That is very common here. Do not get it twisted. Your boy is stupid. So, and then obviously this last part right here with this, the last red ring was trapped there. You need Purple Wisp, and you don't get that until Asteroid Coaster, but if you obviously did Asteroid Coaster ahead of Aquarium Park, well then guess what? You probably were able to get it, but I always play it in order. That's just me. I'm just weird like that. And look at that, 3 consecutive A ranks. And And that leads us to Act 4. Now, I can't remember, like, Act 4 and this, and then, like, Act 1 of, like, Starlight Carnival are probably the 2 longest stages in the game. Act 6 of Aquarium Park also has some link to it. So, generally, those 3 are probably the longest in the stages. But, yeah, one of the cool things about Act 4 is the first red ring is literally you going to the left of the stage. Now, I'll give Sega and Sonic Team credit. That was really smart. I mean, it was a creative place to put a red ring because most people probably aren't going to expect to look to the left. The only reason I figured it out in the first place was because of the fact every time the stage opened, I was like, you know, it kind of looks like you can go backwards. And then one day, I was like, you know what? Let's look back here. And lo and behold, there was a whole ass path, and it led to the first red ring. And I was like, huh, who would have thought? It was one of those crazy secrets I figured out on my own. Kind of surprised me because now I look back at it, like, you know, I'm really surprised I didn't have to look that up. But yeah, managed to somehow figure it out on my own because it's just like, you know, it's a little quirks like that you can kind of just pay attention to. You can tell when some things kind of looks like, okay, maybe we can go back there, and sure enough, you can. It's a small little area. I do like Act 4. It's one of my favorite stages in the game. I used to hate it because of, like, there's a chase sequence with Robot at the end of the stage. And man, I used to be so bad at that. Like, that used to give me so much bad anxiety, and I completely sold that laser shot right there. I think I had it for like a split second, and it's like, nope, you didn't get shit. So that is one thing that I would definitely say. But yeah, and you'll see what it is. Obviously, like, if you know, you know. It's really not that hard when you think about it. It really isn't. So you can just run on the water here, but I chose to, hey, let's use the yellow wisp. I was kind of looking for red rings in the stage, and I really didn't actually find any. I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, really didn't. But you know, it is what it is. And like this part right here, all this is just beautiful. Like all the fish down here. Look, dude, it looks so good. It's actually crazy. I mean, I still hit that. I'm like, bro. Like, welcome to my world. I hit that. Use the laser here. Travel to the other side. Up, hold up. I then hit him with the laser again. Not laser, drill. See, even in post comms, I don't even know what I'm talking about. Like, what are we doing here, man? Oh, then we're out through here. This did lead me to a red ring. I was like, I want to drill. Now, obviously, if you run out of the drill underwater, you won't die like you would underground, because it's just like, why would that happen? Yeah, it's not nothing. It's not anything to worry about. So take the wisp here, and then you can destroy these blocks. And hey, we come out of it basically with bookmarks for the first and the last red ring, which I've actually got one on my desk right here. Obviously, you can't see it, but I have it in my hand because of the fact that I managed to find one of the silver 35th anniversary figure, and it comes with the red star ring. And hey, look at this. This is what I'm talking about. You know, this is not that hard. You can either boost ahead and dodge the lasers, or you can just hang back, and when he tries to like swipe punch you, you can just jump over that. Now, I did get a little upset here because the fucking controller was like, hey, let's go back to the left. I'm like, no, dude, that's not where I want to go. See, like, he does this, well, except for this part. Maybe it's only terminal velocity, because he appears at the end of Act 1 of terminal velocity, and you can just straight jump over him. Can't do that here because it forces you to quick step, and a rare wisp capsule. These are in the first 2 stages of the game. Don't appear until this stage for whatever reason, and then don't appear again. And even with just 2 red rings and 38 rings, beat the stage in 4 minutes and 3 seconds, and we still got an S rank. So that's something to feel good about. Sorry, I always have to get water for these because my mouth gets dry. Because it's like, yap. So that takes us to Act 5. So this is very similar to Act 3 of Starlight Carnival. Definitely not as hard as Act 3 of Starlight Carnival, which neither stage is hard. You know, as long as you're not trying to get, you know, you're too gung-ho happy, you know, you're just not confident enough to do it. You know, I do die here, but I only died once. And I do believe we did get all of the red rings, and I'm telling you why, because I was stupid, and it'll show here. Excuse me. These stages getting the red rings are fairly easy. You know, like the tricky one and the last one is tricky. And see, so what I could have done is I could have just hopped whenever it exploded, and I wanted to get up there to get the fourth one. I did it, get it out, but yeah. So I immediately came up with a different strategy. What you can do is you can just go up here, and then when they do explode, right before they explode, you jump, you won't get hit, and you'll be perfectly fine. So, and then we got the third one, we got the fourth one, and then we move on to the last part of the stage. Dodge the blast from the caterpillars. Now, some of them will shoot up from up ahead, which initiate these blocks. All you gotta do is just like barely touch them. And the last one is just kind of right there. Just get far enough away, and there you go. That's all 5 in one go. Now you just have to basically be careful. Just do a little bit of bouncing here, like do, and don't get hit by that. Just kind of stay in between 2 of them, and you'll be fine. But make sure to be careful because they can snipe you and it can hide behind the gold ring. But no dice there. But because we died, that was enough to knock us down to a B rank, which is very unfortunate. But let's just get to another stage in Game Land, and that will take us to Act 6. And really surprising part is we're only like halfway through the video and we're almost done with it. So Act 6 is a lengthy stage. The first like almost 2 minutes take place underwater, but it's another underwater section that's just gorgeous. Absolutely just gorgeous. And one of the gimmicks here is obviously you have these fish that can act as a way for Sonic to breathe, as well as a shield. Now, they're not permanent. I do believe after a little bit of time they will leave Sonic, but there's still plenty more around that you can find. The first red ring is underwater. I'm pretty sure we didn't collect it here because half the time I can't remember where it is. So we're just spending a good old time underwater. Jump there, but not quick enough. The fans will blow you away. Oh, it's right there. So I don't think we ever made it back over there to get it. So, okay. It's not actually super hard to find. It's just called I didn't bother to go pick it up. So I know for a fact we didn't do that. Just over here. Yeah, I think the reason why is because I just decided to go up here and then not go over there. I'm pretty sure that's where the red ring was. So I didn't bother to actually, you know, pick it up. Oh boy. That's only like 148. So there you go. Finally out of the underwater section. It took about 1:40. And for some reason, I used to not be able to get past the stage because I couldn't make that jump for whatever reason. I don't know what in my mind said you can't make this or I can't. And it's like, just make it, bro. And like this section, you know, this little water garden or whatever, absolutely beautiful. So area here. Water just look. I always like how that looked. Even like in spots in like Tropical Resort where you can see the water, you know, in certain spots, just always thought it looked cool. It took me forever in those stages to figure out, like, is this actually water? Like, oh, it is actually. So you're gonna actually rack up a ton of rings here. You can see that you got like a shit ton. Now, did we finish the stage with them? No, because we got hit at the very end, and you get to get credit for it. Yeah, this is where the hover comes in, and can absolutely help you rack up rings. So to be able to get a red ring here, or at least to make it simpler, when you're skydiving, be ready to just hold forward and land on this opening spot. It'll take you to the zip line, and it gives you the 4th red star ring. Now, I think some of the other ones are on like the other path that didn't take. So it's like Sonic's thing just making you just play the game multiple times. And I think they actually too force you to hit the fountain there in order to have the egg pond show up. Like a lot of times, like you might accidentally hit it, and then it's just gonna randomly be like, okay. And then it'll pop up on your homing-attack reticle, so you'll be in like a chain, and then all of a sudden it'll be like, bam, right there. You gotta, go up in the air. Sweet. I think I saw that yellow wisp over here. Cool guy. Like, yeah, I can make this. And then I miss that. And the eel comes out of freaking nowhere. And instead of finishing with like almost 300 rings, we finished with 1. So it's like, yay, thanks, bro. You suck. Cost me a bunch of rings and whatnot. So it's like, thanks, man. Thanks. I really appreciate it. So with that boss coming up, we have a cutscene.
Man, running past all those fish put me in the mood for sushi. I doubt Eggman had the decency to put a good sushi joint in this park.
Remember, ladies and gentlemen, try the newest dining experience here at Eggman's incredible interstellar amusement park, the bucket of sushi. Now with fish.
Ugh, like I was saying. Hey, did somebody here order a clobbering? Are you sure? It says somebody ordered an extra large clobbering topped with everything. Okay. Tell you what, I can't take this thing back, so I'll give you an extra large clobbering for nothing. Hope you're hungry.
And over the course of the video, I feel like I definitely said, I was like, okay, so I feel like that part had to be some kind of tease to whenever Roger used to be, he used to be like the voiceover guy for Pizza Hut commercials. In case you don't know that, yes, obviously Roger Craig Smith has been in a lot of things. He's also been in a good handful of commercials as well, including being the voiceover dude in certain Pizza Hut commercials. Now, I don't know if those commercials still air anything, but I don't, and I'm probably just way off base here. They're just like, oh, it's just a coincidence, but something to think about. And like Sonic talking about sushi, I actually do like sushi. Like, sushi's pretty good. We have like a sushi restaurant that's probably about maybe like 5-10 minutes from our house. And yeah, it's pretty good. It's called Waco. I don't know if I think it's pretty sure. I think it's a chain. I can probably look that up right now, but I'm just gonna not mess with my setup. So this is Admiral Jelly. We fought Captain Jelly in Sweet Mountain. So this is here in Aquarium Park, and I almost drowned. I had to hit bro. So a little more annoying to hit than Captain Jelly because of the fact that you're underwater and obviously your movement is a lot slower. And for a little bit I thought I glitched the game because Sonic never took off back to the sub, but the game spawns you back there anyway. So I was like, okay, I said that would have been weird, but obviously that didn't happen. And no, I'm not one of those quote-unquote Sonic fans that are, LARPers and think, oh, well, we like the game, and then we'll complain about every little thing about it, even if it's a good Sonic game. It's like, what are we doing here? So yeah, you can take these bombs here. It's like, okay, so we're getting back to the sub. Does actually replenish your life. But yeah, Waco has good sushi. Now, as most sushi places, it's not cheap. You will spend a decent amount. Depending on what it also depends on what you get. They don't just serve sushi. Apparently, they also have hibachi there. I've never seen that before. Maybe it's just a hibachi style food, but I've never actually seen it. But I'm trying to jump up after him, and look at that. Like Sonic basically we're just saying he like kneed him in the face. to get there, and that is how Admiral Jelly is defeated. But yeah, I mean, I understand why people don't like sushi, because it technically is like raw seafood, and you know, some people are skeptical enough of seafood even when it's cooked. You know, making it raw, you know, probably gives them a little bit of the heebie-jeebies. And you know what? That's understandable. But I don't like every sushi. You know, I have my limits. But for the most part, I would say that I do enjoy sushi. I've never had ramen before. I know those probably don't correlate with each other, but I've never had it before, and I want to try it.
Great job, Sonic.
You know me. I aim to please.
Well, I'm totally pleased, and a little nauseous. I grabbed a bite at the bucket of sushi.
What's the verdict?
His cruelty knows no
I think
bounds.
it's actually crazy. Tails actually went and got something.
Next up,
So that cleared up Aquarium Park, so now we're going to do our Sonic Simulator stage. We get to play as the Black Sonic. So we can do our best shadow impression. So do 4-2, 5-1, and 5-2. So this is 4-2. This is a fully 3D stage. This is on the shorter side. It's mainly just, you know, quick time events. You have the egg flappers that will chase after you. And then, like, the moto bugs. It's a very short stage. I was not prepared for that electric gate at that time. I was not ready for that. Moved across, and then, I don't know, I guess I fucked up the input there. Yeah, fucked up the input there, and then, you know, I guess my control stick, I guess, is a lot more sensitive than I thought. Like, so come back and try it again. You only get 3 lives for these. You know, once those 3 are gone, technically it's game over, and you have to start stage over again. So it's not super hard. I locked in. Doesn't take much, and there we go. Died and still beat the stage in basically like a minute. Even though it was technically 55 seconds. So 4-2 is short. It was Pro trying to destroy all of this stuff. And then that moves us on to 5-1. Now, I told this story the first time whenever I originally recorded this, when I thought OBS was picking me up and it wasn't. I guess I'm going to have to start checking that more and more going forward. But that's also because of the fact that I have a solid state drive in my computer, and obviously I unplugged everything. So I guess it didn't pick it back up or whatever. But one of the dumb things that I did for this was back in the day when I would play the stage, I actually do really like this remix of Aquarium Park. I actually used to sing to this part. I made my own lyrics for this part and everything. Now, what are those lyrics? I couldn't tell you, and even if I did, you would not hear them sung by me. Can't remember, but apparently whatever it was, I think I actually did halfway decent. And I don't even want to be a singer. And that led into something else. So apparently at some point, I think it was like in like 2nd or 3rd grade, you know, I want to say 2nd. I didn't want to touch that because there's like an Eggman head in there that will follow you around. And you'll take damage every time it touches you. So we actually took a career test when I was in 2nd grade. So I was like 7 years old. I didn't know what I wanted to be. I was like, you know, I was into trains. I kind of still am. You know, I was like, I want to be a train driver. And then I saw something that was really cool. And it's like, bam, FBI agent. You know, you've seen the movies. You're like, oh, these guys are like fucking cool and whatnot. You know, and it gives you a letter grade based on like, you know, I guess how well you would be in that profession. And it gives you a couple of questions to answer. And when we got the results back, I got a C. When it came, I guess, to how good I would have been an FBI agent at the time. So I was 7 years old. This is like 2008, 2009. So this is a long time ago. There's only one profession I got an A in, and that, you know, funny enough, me thinking about it, was me being a singer. And I'm like, I do not want to be a singer. Like 7-year-old me, no interest in being a singer at all whatsoever. I was like, I don't want to do that. think for a train driver, I want to say I think I got like I think it was on there, but I wanted to try something different. So I was like, you know, I think I got like for being an engineer was like a B or a C. And that's Game Land 5 Act 1. I can't remember, but I do remember going home that day. I was not satisfied with those results. I was like, no, you know, stop the count. We need to do it again. Like I was not about it. Not about it. So on to 5-2, so the last stage of the video here. I was not about it. So yeah, the only time I think you've actually heard me sing on camera is in the Sonic Symphony video, which crazy enough, that video's that's almost been like, you know, in November, that'll be 2 years since that happened. That does not feel like it was 2 years ago. It sometimes doesn't even feel like it was a year ago. It's absolutely just insane. Now, you know, obviously Sonic Live is a thing, and they are touring. Do I plan to go to that? Like I told myself in the update video that I made after we did, you know, the last part, which is Planet Wisp, I told myself if I was going to get myself tickets for this, I had to make a deal with myself. You know, I always have to go to events and stuff like that. I always tell my girlfriend that we're going to, you know, she tells me about places that she wants to go, like go see comedians or whatnot, and a lot of stuff that she'd like to go see. And I haven't done that yet, and I told her that I would. But before we keep going with that, look at this, watch this. Okay, so look at this, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm cool, bro, I'm good. Not to notice that my gauge is a lot smaller than what it is, and I died. Absolute certified bruh moment. But no, I told her that I would take her somewhere, and if I don't do that or do something, you know, take her somewhere. But if I don't, then I can't go to the show unless she just says it's okay, and I'd rather not do that. So obviously the closest show to me would be Nashville, which is about, you know, give or take, which is I want to say it's probably like estimated time. It's about 30 minutes from where I live. It's not far. I mean, even if I miss that show, there's one in Atlanta, but Atlanta's like 3 hours away. But I drove that entire distance, you know, and back in one day to go see the Braves play. So, but yeah, hopefully be able to go to Sonic Live. I'd like to go back to another one and then do a vlog of that with higher quality, because I know the quality in the last video was absolute dog shit, because, you know, this is before I got my current phone, and it could definitely actually take some good pictures and have the storage to be able to do it. But anyways, that's going to do it for this video. So hopefully next week it'll be back to normal. And, you know, if you guys liked it, make sure the like button and subscribe. The channel really helps out. The video has 10 seconds left. And I will catch you guys next week when we head to Asteroid Coaster. Until then, take it easy, guys. I'm out.